Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depende kung kailan mo ito pinapanood. So, I hope maging ano to, maging fruitful. Okay, we'll discuss the second or the final pre-board nitong nakaraan na. Okay? So, let's start with, of course, obligation. Okay? So, number one, okay, A, B, and C, tapos W, X, Y, and Z, o a sum of 120. The obligation is due. Ang hinahanap natin, guys, is yung not correct. Okay? Now, ang answer natin dito, guys, is letter C. Okay? Bakit? Kasi remember, kapag walang sinabi yung problem, okay, joint po yung assumption. Okay? Okay? So, kapag joint, of course, anong ginagawa mo? You divide. Okay? You divide the obligation. Kung ilan yung debtor, at saka kung ilan yung creditor. Okay? So, bakit mali itong letter C? Kasi remember, magkano utang ng ABC? 120 divided by 3 is, of course, 40. Yun nga lang, ang sabi ito, any of the creditors. So, bawat isa sa kanila. So, mangyayari, 120 divided by 3, 40. Tapos yung 40, i-divide mo pa by 4. Okay? So, bawat isang creditor, 10,000 lang ang pwede niyang singilin sa individual debtors. Okay? Again, remember ang liability natin, kapag walang sinabi, pag silent, like here, di ba, wala namang sinabi, okay? Yung obligation natin is joint. Alright? So, nagkakaroon lang ng solidary liability kapag expressly stated or pag law or nature of the obligation requires solidarity. Okay? So, pakitandaan lang ha. Kaya ang hinahanap natin dito, yung false. So, mali ito. All the other things, tama yan. Alright? Sige. Next. Okay, ito naman. B borrowed. Okay, 500,000 from C. Secured. Okay. And then, subsequently, D paid C 200,000. Okay. Tapos, unknown to D, binayaran ng ibang tao. Buo. Alright? So, nag-partial payment siya, tinanggap naman. But then, may nagbayad na iba. Okay? So, anong situation dito? Payment by a third person. Okay? Now, alin dyan ang correct? Now, guys, itong question na to, medyo deliberately, to mislead you. Ang tamang sagot po dito is letter C. Okay? Bakit? Remember, ang ginawa ko dito sa question na to is dinadala kita doon sa payment by third person. Pero sa totoo lang, ang gusto ko, ang pinupunteriya ko dyan is yung solution indemnity. Okay? Bakit? Remember, bayad na yung 200. Okay? So, magkano na lang natira? 300, di ba? So, nagbayad siya ng buo pa rin. So, yung 300,000, okay lang. Kasi talaga namang utang pa rin. However, pagdating doon sa 200,000, na portion, yung bayad na, may karapatan pa ba, okay, si creditor, na hawakan yung 200,000 na yun? Wala na, di ba? Wala na. So, in this situation, hahatiin mo kung kanino ka magpapa-reimburse. Kasi syempre, nagbayad si, di ba, si X, nagbayad siya. So, hindi niya pwedeng kunin lahat kay C, at lalong hindi niya pwedeng kunin lahat kay D, yung buong 500. Bakit? Kasi, remember, beneficial reimbursement lang to. Diba? Yung lang, kasi bayad na yung 200 portion, yung 300 na lang ang nag-benefit si debtor. However, 500 yung binayad ni C, 500 yung binayad ni X. So, paano naman yung 200 niya na naiwan? Kukunin niya ngayon yan kay C, kay creditor. Kasi, again, yung 200,000 na portion ay bayad na. Pero kinuha pa rin ni C. Ngayon, wala na siyang karapatan doon. Nagkakaroon ka ngayon ng obligation to return, which is solution indemnity. Alright? So, letter B po ang sagot natin. Okay? Next, number 3. Alright? Now, dito, okay, solidary debtors, by statement 1, solidary debtors of X and Y. So, solidary debtors, solidary creditors. Problem, X makes a demand to A, but, excuse me, the latter is paid by, but the latter paid Y. Okay? So, sa iba siya nagbayad. In this situation, the obligation is not extinguished. Alright? Tama naman. Okay, tama naman. Bakit? Di ba remember may merong nuance na ganyan sa Solidarity na ordinarily, pwedeng maningil kahit sino, pwedeng magbayad kahit sino. Wala namang problem sana yun. Kaso nga lang, kapag meron ng demand, okay, the moment there is a specific demand by a specific creditor, dapat siya ang babayaran. Alright? So that's why, this one, improper yung payment. So hindi po extinguish yung obligation. So this one is true. Okay? Now, yung statement 2, okay, true din yan. Okay? Kaso nga lang paki-correct lang. Okay? The solidary debtors of X, Y, and Z, ganyan. X demands payment from A, but B, upon whom no demand is made, paid. Okay? Dapat ito pong Z, pakipalitan lang. Okay? Pakipalitan lang. Oops, tayo gumano. Anyway, ito po dapat, instead of Z, okay, dapat X. Okay, dapat si X yan. Okay, dapat si X. Alright? So, pakipalitan lang po yun. Now, bakit? Okay, bakit dapat X yan? Kasi magmamali. Alright? So, what happened? Ang nangyari dito, may nag-demand kay A. Pero instead na si A ang nagbayad, yung isang solidary debtor ang nagbayad. Okay? Now, kung binayad niya kay X, again ha, pakicorrect ito, kay X yan, binayaran niya si X, the obligation is totally extinguished. True po yun. Okay? Saan lang nagkaka-problem? Remember, nagkakaroon lang ng designation kapag nag-demand yung creditor. Dapat daw kung sinong creditor yung nag-demand, siya yung babayaran mo. However, wala kasing sinabi, okay, wala namang sinabi na yung debtor na siningil ay dapat siya rin ang magbabayad. Walang ganon. Okay? Doon lang po sa creditor nagkakaroon ng pagka-specific. Pero as to the debtors, wala po tayong pakialam doon. Alright? So, in statement 2, nag-demand si X kay A, si B ang nagbayad, extinguished din. Alright? Now, huwag po natin kalilimutan yung correction ha. Instead po na Z ito, instead na Z, dapat X yan. Alright? So, again, paki-take note na. So, statement 1 and statement 2, both are true. Okay? Yeah. Next. Of course, alam natin to. Okay? Ang normal lang naman na pinalilito ng mga tao dito. Pag nakitang source, again, agad, 1156, di ba? 1157. Sources of obligation. Hindi po. Remember, meron ka ring sources of liability. Alright? Ano yung sources of liability? Yan po yung those in the performance of their obligation are guilty of fraud, negligence, delay, or any manner contravene the tenor of the obligation shall be liable for damages. So, ano yung pinanggagalingan ng liability for damages? Yun po ang 1170 ang tinitingnan mo. And one of the things na kailangan mo tingnan, or one of the things na nakalista doon is fraud. But remember, dalawang klase ang fraud natin ha, dalawa. Yung isa, yung dolo causante, yung kabila, dolo incidente. Yung dolo causante, hindi po source ng liability yan. Anong nangyayari kapag may dolo causante? Yung consent ay magiging vitiated. So, therefore, magiging voidable. Iba yun. Ang hinahanap mo pag source of liability is the other type of fraud. Okay? Dolo incidente. Incidental fraud. Fraud in the performance. Okay? So, fraud in the performance of obligations, yan ang source ng liability mo. Okay? Magkakaroon ka ng liability for damages. Alright? So, number 4. Number 5. D borrowed from C a sum of money. Okay? With a stipulated rate of interest to be paid in 3 equal monthly installments from January to March. Okay, no problem. Now, ito yung ano dyan. D, paid. Okay, tapos, nakakuha siya ng resibo. Pero yung resibo na yon, ang sabi, February. Alright, so, walang sinabi sa problem na nakapagbayad na siya ng previous, di ba? Pero, ang only indication mo, nakakuha siya ng resibo, ang sabi, February ang binayaran. Alright? Now, ano ang ngayon ang situation? So, now remember guys, pag mga installment payment na ganito, okay, ang sagot natin dyan, letter C. Okay? Pag silent siya, tapos merong ganito, merong receipt, or merong tinanggap ng principal, tinanggap ng creditor without reservation, meaning hindi niya, di ba, hindi niya sinabi na, oh, hindi ka pa nagbabayad ng January, ah. Wala siyang sinabi gano'n. Basta, pagkabayad mo, nagbigay siya ng resibo for a certain month, it is assumed, it is presumed na all the previous months have been paid already. Alright? Kasi, ang logic dyan, bakit siya mag-i-issue ng receipt para sa February kung hindi pa bayad yung January? Ngayon, kung hindi pa bayad yung January, ano dapat ang gawin ni creditor? Dapat sabihin niya sa'yo. Alright? Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng reservation with respect. Okay? Alright? So, dito, dahil silent. Okay? Dahil lang silent. Tapos may resibo ka for February. Kaya, ang assumption, nabayaran mo na rin yung January. Okay? So, letter C. Sagot na. Alright. Ito, medyo mahaba-haba ito. Alright. So, DOC the following debt. Dami. Ay, madami. Para parehas naman na 6,000. So, iba-iba lang yung due date. Iba-iba lang yung due date. Alright. All are due on March 15. Okay. All the debts are secured except for the one due on February 8. The party stipulated that C may demand on or before. Okay? Assume that today is Feb 16. So, ito ay facultative as to the creditor. Ngayon, siya yung may benefit of the period. Okay, kasi pwede siya mag-demand even before due date. Alright. Feb 16 ngayon. D, however, has not yet paid any. Okay, so may mga overdue na siya. He has in his possession 3,000 pesos which he intends to pay. Alright, so which is of course true. Now guys, mag-iingat ka sa mga ganito. Right? Huwag po tayong excited sumagot. Kasi malamang, sasabihin mo, application of payment. Okay? Pero, remember guys the application of payment, meron pa ring rules yun. Alright? Ano yung una? Tatlo yan di ba? Tatlo. Debtor ang namimili. Pag hindi siya namili, creditor ang mamimili. Kapag hindi pumili ang creditor, saka lang po papasok yung batas. So again debtor, pag wala, creditor, pag wala, batas. Right? Now, ito yung kailangan mong ingatan. Kapag po mamimili si debtor, okay, yung application of payment, yung the debtor declares kung alin yung pipili, yung babayaran niya. Kailangan pa rin po, okay, ang pwede lang niyang piliin is yung debt na makakapag-comply siya sa rules of payment. Okay? Ano ba ang rules of payment? Basically, tatlo lang naman. Identity, integrity, at saka indivisibility. Alright? Now, first is identity. Dapat kung ano yung napag-agrihan nyo, yun ang gagawin mo. Alright? Now, dito, di ba, ang napag-agrihan, bayaran. Di ba, bayaran? At, number 2, integrity. Alright? Integrity. Yung integrity, guys, dapat yung performance ay buo. Okay? Dapat buo. Tapos yung indivisibility is related to that, hindi ka pwedeng mag-partial payment. Now, tingnan mo yung mangyayari dito. Identity, sige pwede na. Kasi pera pa rin naman. However, may problem ka sa integrity at saka sa indivisibility. Bakit? Kasi tingnan mo, lahat ng utang 6,000. Magkano lang ba ang hawak mo? 3. Kulang. Hindi ka makakomply sa lahat ng requirements ng payment. So what will happen? Ang sagot mo dito is, alright? Yan po ang magiging sagot mo. Hindi pwedeng mamili si D kasi kulang ang pera niya. So what will happen? Hindi ba pwedeng magkaroon ng application of payment? Pwede pa rin kapag si debtor ang gagawa. Pag si creditor ang gagawa. Okay? Or pag yung batas na ang gagawa. Of course, kailangan yan tanggapin ni creditor. Okay? Now, kapag hindi ito tinanggap ni creditor, hindi pwede. Kasi may application, meron kang problem sa indivisibility at integrity of payment. Alright? So again, okay, balikan lang natin. Bakit hindi pwedeng pumili si debtor dito? Kasi yung pera niya ay kulang, hindi ka makakomply dun sa requirements ng integrity at saka indivisibility with any of the debts. Alright? The application of payment will rest upon the creditor or the law kung tatanggapin ni creditor in the first place. Alright? So, mag-iingat ka sa ganitong klaseng problem. Okay? Contracts naman. Alright, so sa contracts natin, number 1, this kind of contract, okay, refers to that contract which validly, alright, all the elements but courts can nullify damage to a third person. Its enforcement can cause injustice by reason of some external. Alright, of course, alam mo yan. Alright, so again guys, a rescissible contract is valid. Okay? However, merong damage or prejudice. Okay? Ano yan? Yan po yung lesyon. Okay, di ba? Lesyon or lesion, economic damage. Right? So, external. Okay, yan po ang kailangan mong tandaan. So, the damage, okay? The damage is caused by something external. Alright? So, normally, pag rescissible contract, hindi kayo parang outside party ka. Kaya di ba pag tinignan mo yung listahan ng rescissible contract, ano yun? Guardian, fiduciary duties, tapos yung tawag dito, absentee, alright? Or yung in fraud of creditors, di ba? Normally, hindi ka kasali doon sa contract talaga, pero may damage sa'yo. Okay, may damage sa'yo. Alright? So, rescissible yan definition lang. Next. Ayan, favorite. Alright? Now, ayan. So, isa-isa natin. Statement. Okay? Oops. A sold his laptop in writing to X. However, after execution of the deed, there was no delivery from A, no payment from X. The contract is void. Tama po ito. Okay, this is true. Okay, bakit? This is absolutely simulated. Alright? Kasi, given dito, sa statement 1, na kahit na meron silang deed of sale, kahit na meron silang deed of sale, hindi naman dineliver, hindi rin nagkaroon ng payment. So, ibig sabihin, wala silang intention sundin ito. Okay? Ginawa ito for one reason or another, pero absolutely simulated lang. Kunyari lang ito. Alright? So, again paano natin nalaman? Kasi after the execution of the deed of sale, walang delivery, walang payment. So, as is lang sila. Wala silang intention sundin. Okay? Now, A sold. Okay? A sold and obliged to deliver a Toyota Fortuner to B. His. Okay? His Toyota Fortuner. Alright? No problem. Okay naman. Yun nga lang, 3 pala yung Fortuner niya. Okay? Ngayon, in this situation, hindi mo masabi kung alin yung binibenta niya, di ba? 3 So, it becomes impossible. Okay? It becomes impossible to know the true object. Kapag ganyan po, pag hindi mo maintindihan kung alin, nagiging void po yung contract. Okay? Kasi it is as if wala kang object at all. Alright? So again, bakit ito naging void? Kasi you cannot determine. Okay? Or sabi nila, it is impossible, okay, to know what the object really is. Alright? Sige. So, true pa rin. Next, sold the power bank. It turned out it belonged to a third person. No idea about the thing. The contract is void. False po ito. Okay? False ito. Alright? False yan ha. Bakit yan false? Kasi guys, this is a contract of sale, correct? Kapag contract of sale, right? Kapag contract of sale, ownership is only required. Okay? Ownership is only required when you are about to deliver. So technically, pwede kang magbenta ng hindi sa'yo. However, siyempre, pag ginawa mo yun, magkakaroon ka ng problema with delivery. At of course, subject to rescission, subject to damages na yan. Alright? Sige. So once again, statement 3 ay false because this contract is actually valid. Ito pong statement 3, valid ito. Kasi you only need ownership when you are about to deliver the object already. Okay? So for letter C, only 2 are true. Okay? Next. So, X orally sold his house at Maginhawa Street. Out of excitement, nako, yan na. Okay? Careless. So, instead na 139, nasulat nila 193 sa deed of sale. Tapos, siyempre, ibang tao may-ari niyan. Okay? So, here, what is the remedy? Now, kapag ganito, guys, meron talaga silang agreement, di ba? Valid na to eh. Okay, valid na to. Ano lang ang nagkamali? Or saan nagkamali? Doon lang po sa deed of sale, correct? Ano ba yung deed of sale na yan? Yan po yung instrument. Yung papel. Remember guys, ang contract, kung hindi mo kailangan talaga ng papel doon, kailangan mo lang yung meeting of the minds, di ba? Yung TOC natin. You can have a contract even without paper or even without an instrument. Valid na yun. So nga lang dito, nangyari, yung agreement nila is valid, tama naman, nagkaintindihan sila, yun nga lang, yung instrument ang nagkamali. E di syempre, pag mali yung instrument, it is due to what? An error. Pag ganun ang problema mo, reformation ang meron tayo. Okay? Reformation. Ano ang aayusin mo? Yung instrument. Remember guys, hindi po ito reformation of contract. Ito po ay reformation of instrument. Yung papel ang aayusin mo, not the contract. Okay? Sige. So letter B ang sagot natin. Next. Okay? In an alternative obligation, either party may choose. Okay? Either party may choose as to who has the right of choice. Okay? Ay, hindi pwede. Okay, bakit? Kasi remember, sabi ng bata, si debtor. Okay? Si debtor ang may right of choice. So, si debtor ang papahayag na ibigay kay creditor. Hindi pwedeng si creditor ang magdikta. Okay? Hindi pwede. Alright? It is the debtor which grants the right of choice to the creditor. So, hindi pwede. Alright? So, false ito. Alright? Hindi pwedeng either party. Okay? False yan ha. False. Okay? Now, statement 2. If it is the creditor who has the right of choice, he loses his choice if all prestations are alternatively lost by fault of the debtor. False pa rin. Bakit? Kapag po si creditor ang may right of choice, tapos kasalanan ni debtor kung bakit nawala, okay? Yung meron pa ring right of choice si creditor, dun na lang sa prices or dun sa mga presyo ng mga bagay na nawala. Alright? Pwede niyang piliin kahit alin dun. Kahit nawala pa lahat. Okay? The creditor is given the choice, alright, to choose the price of any of the things that were lost, including indemnity for damages. So in essence, guys, wala na yung mga object, pero, wala na yung mga prestations. Wala na sila lahat. Pero, technically, pwede pa rin piliin ni creditor yun. Gagawing pera na nga. Alright? So again ha, Yung situation dito, creditor has the right of choice. That's yung fault na kay debtor. Alright? So, statement 1, statement 2, both are, okay, none are true. Or both are false, in other words. Okay, 6. Ay, sorry. 5 pa lang pala. Alright. Now, acceptance by letter or telegram does not bind the offeror except from the time it came to his knowledge because the civil code adheres to the manifestation theory. Ay false po yan. Bakit? Hindi po yan manifestation. Right? Hindi yan manifestation theory. Yan po ay cognition theory. Okay? Mali ito ha? Mali. Okay? Yung manifestation kasi, yan yung sa lunga, yung sa Code of Commerce yan. Yan yung kung kailan ka nag-consent. Alright? Now, regardless kung alam nung kabila or hindi, basta nag-consent ka na, okay na yun. Sa civil code po, hindi ganon. Kailangan malaman. Alright? Kaya po ito, di ba? Nag-consent ka na sa letter, di ba? Bigay ka na ng acceptance sa letter. Pero hanggang hindi pa po nalalaman, okay, hanggang hindi pa nalalaman nung offeror, wala pa pong effect yun. That is the cognition theory. Okay? So, mali yung manifestation. Alright? Next. Consent is vitiated by so and so. Alright? And will render the resulting contract void. Ay, mali. Di ba? Bakit? Kasi pag vitiated consent, ano yung contract mo? Voidable lamang. Alright? It is valid until ano. Alright? Next. Consent requires acceptance that is absolute, which must be expressed and cannot be merely implied. False na naman. Consent, guys, right, may be implied as well. Alright? So, consent is expressed or implied. No problem. So, what happened? Statements 1, 2, and 3 ay lahat po yan. Okay? Sige. Next. Next. The 6. A and B agreed that A would sell B and B would buy A's radio for 200 pesos. Ba? 200 pesos, 3 years from the date of the agreement. At the end of the agreed period, yung 3 years, A refused to hand over the radio, although B was willing to pay. Is A bound to deliver? You remember, ang key dito is ito. Alright? Now remember, kapag ganyan ang situation, we apply yung rule natin sa unenforceable contract. Di ba yung performance is, ano tawag dito? An agreement that by its terms is not performed within 1 year. Alright? So, dito clearly naman. Okay, 3 years from the date. So, lampas ng 1 year yan. So, unenforceable. Okay? Sige. So, letter D ang sagot natin. Next. Okay. In a contract of sale of personal property, the price is payable in installments. The vendor may exercise any of the following remedies regardless of how many installments are unpaid. Okay? Ito true. Siyempre, statement 1. Sigurado. Now, statements 2 and 3, hindi na po pwede yan. Bakit? Kasi remember, kapag 2 and 3 ang gusto mong gamitin, dapat at least 2 installments ang nabis. Okay? So, anong lesson natin dito? Doon po sa, di ba ito yung recto, recto law. Right? Itong recto law, 3 remedy ang binibigay sa iyo. Yung una, this one, the first one, kahit ilang installment pa yan. Kahit isa lang, kahit 10 pa, pwede mo yan gawin. However, yung cancel, at yung foreclosure, ang requirement niyan, at least 2 yung na-miss. Otherwise, hindi mo pa sila pwedeng gamitin, hindi pa sila available. Alright? So, ang ating sagot ay letter D. Okay? Kasi statements 2 and 3 are false. Okay. Characteristics of a contract of sale. Ay, alam naman natin to siguro. Okay? Contract of sale is onerous. Siyempre. A contract of sale is bilateral. Kasi pwede rin multilateral. Pero, ang point is, hindi siya unilateral. Okay? Ang mali dito is statement 1. Okay? Bakit hindi siya statement 1? Remember, while a sale does have an element of delivery, sa performance na po yun. Okay? Yung real contract, yung delivery niya, required siya in addition to COC. Meaning, kapag real ang contract mo, itong real na to, pag real ang contract mo, what happens? Delivery is required for perfection. Okay? Required for perfection. Sa contract of sale, hindi po. Kasi ang contract of sale is valid even if it is verbal only in any form. Yan. Okay? Meron lang certain exceptions, pero generally speaking, contract of sale is valid in any form. Okay? So, statement 1 po is false. Letter C ang sagot natin. Okay? Next. So, ba't number 7 yun? Dapat number 3 yan. Anyway. So, bought a residential house and lot. Oh, ba nagkulang? Anyway, ayan. Ayun, tama pala. 250,000, 10,000, promising to pay the 240 in 20 years, 1,000 payment. Okay? So, nilitan na lang natin yung numbers para madali nyo mapindot. Okay? After paying 72 installments, defaulted, 73rd, despite the grace period, was not able to make further payments. So, wala. Accordingly, S Realty canceled the sale through a letter that was not notarized. How much is the cash surrender value? Okay? Ang sagot natin dito, guys, ay, yes, you guessed it, it's 0. Bakit? Remember po, lampas ng 2 years. Tama naman. However, bago ka magkaroon ng cash surrender value, kailangan ma-cancel muna yung sale mo. Okay? Now, remember, ito ang tawag dito, Maseda, di ba? Maseda law. Okay, Maseda law. Now, kaya 0 ka. Kasi remember, dapat na-cancel ng maayos. Ang requirement po dito, in order for the seller to cancel the sale, is a notarial act of rescission or cancellation. Notarial. Meaning, yung cancellation, regardless of letter or tawag dito, formal cancellation, okay lang. Kahit ano naman pwede, long as naka-notaryo. Okay? Notarized dapat siya. Okay? If hindi po notarized yung cancellation, wala pong effect yan. Technically, pwede ka pa rin magbayad. Ibig sabihin, the seller has not canceled the sale, it is still in effect. Magkakaroon ka na nga lang ng mga penalty, interest, kasi syempre tapos na yung grace period, di ba? But the point is, hindi pa po canceled yung sale, and therefore, wala ka pang cash surrender value. Okay? So, dito, ang sagot natin is 0. Okay? So, again kailangan notarize yung cancellation bago ka magkaroon ng cash surrender value. Alright? So, letter D. Alright. Now, next is credit. Okay? Dito, yan. Okay. Automatic appropriation. Okay? Upon failure of the debtor to pay, the principal obligation is called, alam naman natin, of course. Okay? Pactum. Okay, yung pacto. Alright? Pactum commissorium. Now, remember guys, si pactum commissorium, ano ang keyword mo dyan? This one. Automatic. Kapag meron pa pong kailangan gawin para makuha ni creditor yan, hindi na po pactum commissorium yon. Alright? Dapat, upon failure to pay, automatic appropriation. Alright? Doon lang nagiging pactum commissorium yan. In other situations, kapag po hindi automatic yan, that is not pactum commissorium anymore. Okay? Automatic ha. Yun po ang kailangan mong tandaan. Next. D obtained a loan of 5 million pesos from C. The obligation is secured by a pledge, okay, which he delivered. Both the loan and pledge were in a private instrument. Ito na. Okay, private instrument. While the loan was outstanding, D sold the ring through a public instrument. 2X was not aware of the pledge. Okay? Deed of sale obliged himself to deliver the ring physically within a week. Before X could obtain actual delivery, he learned that D earlier pledged the same, okay, and that C was selling the ring public sale because of D's default. Alright. So, ano nangyari dito? Ano ang lesson natin dito? Kailan nagiging binding sa third person ang pledge? But remember, kailangan po the description of the pledge itself and the date of the pledge must be in the public instrument. Pero clearly dito, okay, nasa private. So, ano sagot natin dyan? X is not bound by the pledge made by D to C. Kasi nasa private instrument. Okay? Alright. Okay? D pledged his computer to secure a loan, okay, which he received from C. The debt amounts to 10,000 and is due 60 after 60 days. Before the due date, he executed an instrument abandoning the pledge. Okay. Now ito ano lang, titingnan lang natin kung you know how pledges work. Okay? Remember, statement 1, okay, this one is false. Okay, bakit? Kasi, what was abandoned? Yung pledge lang. A pledge is an accessory contract, di ba? Meaning, yan ay nag-exist lang dahil mayroong utang, may loan. Okay? So, in this situation, guys, yung loan is the principal contract while the pledge is your accessory. If you extinguish the accessory, hindi po maapektuhan yung principal. However, kapag other way around, yung principal ang na-extinguish, the accessory is extinguished also. Alright? So, false po yung statement 1. Okay, false ito. Statement 2. The pledge of the computer is extinguished even if D has not yet accepted. Right? Pwede. This one is true. Kasi remember, kapag ganito, abandonment of the pledge, it does not require the acceptance. Okay? It does not require the acceptance of the debtor. Okay? Yung creditor, pag inayawan na niya yung pledge, kahit hindi pa po pumayag yung debtor, tapos na yun, extinguished siya. So, true yan. Okay? Now, statement 3 is false. Okay, bakit? Kasi nga, sabi natin kanina, the moment i-abandon, kahit hindi pa nababalik, okay, yung naka-pledge. Kasi di ba, pag pledge, sino may hawak? Yung creditor, di ba? Now, yung creditor ngayon, pag inabandon niya, kahit hindi pa niya nababalik, okay, yung naka-pledge na thing, extinguished na kagad yun. Okay? So, statement 1 and statement 3, they are false. That means our answer should be letter. Alright. Truth in lending naman. Okay? So, truth in lending, of course, alam natin, baka lang, okay, baka lang, Republic Act 3765. Okay, baka lang. Consider the following. Ayan. Now, dito guys, these are all false. Okay, these are all false. Bakit? Tingnan mo ha, permit both parties to appreciate the true cost of credit. Hindi po, yung debtor. Okay, yung debtor ang dyan. Para malaman niya kung magkano ba talaga ang inuutang niya. Okay? Kaya kailangan mo yung effective interest. Diba? Also, statement 2, finance charges only. Disclosure of finance charges only. Mali yan. Kasi di ba, remember, one of the things na kailangan mo ipakita is also yung non-finance charges. Alright? Kasi para makita mo kung paano yung true cost of credit natin. Okay? Kasi kasama sa computation yun, di ba? Now, lastly, offering bonds is essentially a credit transaction, failure of which to issue the disclosure statement is will prevent the entitlement of interest. Alright? So, kapag ganito guys, right? Ay, sorry, hindi pala to all are false. Okay, mali. Ano ito? Only two are false. Okay, bakit? Kasi remember, tawag dito, the Truth in Lending Act, okay, the Truth in Lending Act only applies kapag, does not apply kapag yung debtor ang nagsiset ng interest. Alright? Eh, di ba yung bonds, nangungutang ka, correct? Pero, yung normally corporation yan. But, nangungutang yung corporation rin ang nagsiset kung ano yung interest rate ng bonds na yun. So, therefore, hindi po applicable yung ano dyan, yung Truth in Lending Act. Kasi, hindi naman siya maluloko doon. Bakit? Eh, siya nag-set eh. Alright? So, in this situation, yung, tawag dito, yung statement 3 natin, false ito. Okay? Kasi, there is really no need. Okay? Hindi mo kailangan mag-issue ng disclosure statement. Alright? Iba yung requirements ng bonds, of course, kasi di ba, prospectus ang kailangan dyan. But the point is, yung TILA is not applicable kapag yung debtor po ang nagsiset ng interest rate natin. Okay? Just like in offering bonds. Okay? So, letter D ang sagot ha. Letter D. Let's go to BP 22. Alright? And estafa. Now, statement 1, malainte. Okay? Inherently wrong. One of which is BP 22. False yan. Bakit? Malum prohibitum ang BP 22. Alright? It is not inherently wrong. Okay? It is only a crime because sinabi ng batas natin. Alright? Sige. Whereas, yung estafa, of course, the estafa guys is malainte. Yun ang malainte ha, yung estafa. Kasi, estafa, yung panluloko ang pinapunish, di ba? So, syempre, inherently wrong yung panluloko. Alright. Next, BP22 always requires knowledge of insufficiency of funds. Okay, mali yan. Bakit? Dalawa po, ay false yan ha. Dalawa po kasi ang ating modes of violating BP22, di ba? Yung isa, yung traditional, yung alam natin, yung walang funds from the very beginning. However, may pangalawa pong paraan ng pag-violate niyan is yan yung sufficient siya nung simula, pero nung na-present mo within 90 days, insufficient na. So doon, sa second mode, hindi mo kailangan ng knowledge kasi sufficient na eh. Diba? And lastly, statement 3, payment within 5 banking days, okay, from the notice of dishonor is a complete defense. True yan. Alright? So statement 1, false. Statement 2, false. Statement 3, yan ang true. So letter D ang sagot. Yan. One is not like the others. Alright? So dito guys, kailangan mong i-detect kung alin yung naiba. So pwedeng ko alin yung true, pwedeng ko alin yung false. Okay? So dito sa number 2, ito po tayo. Okay? A is false. Lahat po nung iba, true yan. Okay? Lahat nung iba, true yan. Bakit false tong letter A? When convicted of either crime, estafa or BP22, the violator may face imprisonment, a fine, or both, depending on what the court imposes. False yan. Bakit? Yung mga bagay na yan, meron sa BP22, correct? Tama ka naman doon. However, pag tinignan mo yung estafa natin, guys, yung estafa through the bouncing check, yung, di ba, iba-iba yung estafa, di ba? But isa lang yung pinag-uusapan natin. Kapag dun sa Article 315, Paragraph 2B, ito yung estafa pinag-uusapan natin. Kapag yan, yung pinag-uusapan, wala pong fine, walang multa, puro imprisonment na. Okay? So, wala pong criminal fine pag estafa through bouncing check. kulong ka lang. Okay? So, false po yung letter A. All the others, true yan. Okay, partnership. Okay, partnership. Now, partnerships. A, B, and C, okay, merchandising, they contributed capital, also agreed on equal distribution of net profit. After 3 years of operation, C conveys her whole, ayan, ito na. Alright. So, binenta ni C yung interest na sa partnership sa ibang tao, kay third person. Okay? So, ano nangyari dito? Yung interest, remember guys, yun yung ano mo ha, yung share mo dun sa partnership. Okay? So, ang rule dyan, you can sell that. Kasi property mo yun. However, may certain limitations lang doon sa makakabili. Alright? First limitation niya is this. We cannot participate in management. Okay? Bakit? Kasi hindi siya magiging partner dyan. Okay? Hindi siya magiging partner dyan. So, So, wala. Mag-aabang lang siya ng statement 2. Ito. Alright? Ito lang yung makukuha niya doon. Nabili niya yung interest, so ang makukuha lang niya doon sa interest is kung magkano yung entitlement ni C. Doon sa profit sharing. Alright? Now, bakit? Bakit ganon? Kasi, tingnan mo yung statement 3. True rin yan. Kasi the conveyance, yung pagbenta, did not make D a partner. Remember, magiging partner ka lang sa isang partnership if all the partners agree to admit you as a partner. Okay? Pwede mong ibenta yung share mo? Yes. No problem. Pero, that the sale itself or the conveyance itself will not make you automatically a partner. Okay? So, pakitandaan nyo na. Yan. All are true tayo. Okay, so, yan. So, number 2. A is the managing partner of A and B company. X is indebted to A for 20,000 pesos and to the partnership of 460,000. Okay? So, remember, may utang siya sa parehas. Okay? May utang siya sa parehas. Now, when both debts were mature, X, so ibang tao to, okay, ibang tao to. Ito pala, ito may utang, pays A for 20K. And the latter, si A, issues a receipt for the personal credit. So, in-apply, well, it seems na in-apply ni A dun sa buong 20,000. Okay? Kasi resibo niya eh. However, guys, kapag ganito, managing partner ka, okay, ang mangyayari dyan is ganito. In proportion. Okay? Bakit 1/4, 3/4? Kasi 20 at 60. Okay, pagka pinoportion mo yan, okay, 1/4, ito, 3/4. Kasi over 80. Anyway, ang point ko lang is, kapag managing partner lang nangyayari yan. Okay? Guys managing partner. Kapag po, hindi yan, kapag kunyari, kasi managing partner, tapos, yung resibo, personal credit, in proportion. Ngayon, kapag sa partnership po yung in-issue niyang resibo, kaya nakuha ni A yung 20,000, tapos nag-issue siyang resibo on behalf of the partnership, hindi po natin i-in proportion yon. Okay? Buo. Okay? Buong makukuha ng partnership yung 20K. Okay? So remember ginagawa mo lang yung in proportion kapag pag-personal yung resibo. Okay? Hahatiin mo yan sa partnership and dun sa individual partner. Okay? Also, pakitandaan yung situation. Managing partner siya. Okay? Nangyayari lang ito kapag managing partner yung gumawa. Kapag po regular partner lang yan, hindi mo to kailangan i-apply. Okay? Hindi po applicable ito kapag hindi managing partner yung naka-receive ng bayad. Okay? So, number 2, letter. Okay? Brad and Tom orally agreed to form a partnership, but each contributed cash to the common fund. Okay? they did not register, in this case, the partnership is, syempre, valid pa din. Kasi, di ba? Wala namang, walang consequence kapag, walang real property. Kapag may real property lang naman nagkakaproblema yan, kailangan mo ng inventory attached to the public instrument, di ba? And registered. Alright, so dito, wala namang ganon. So, valid siya, even if you don't register. Okay? So, remember, normally guys, yung partnership, ano yan? What's this? Yung consensual. Okay, consensual contract. So, valid siya in any form. Maliban na lang kapag may real property involved. Next. Ito. The following may become part of a limited partnership. Okay, both are true. Yan. Ingat. Okay, ingat ha. Baka lang. Okay? Remember, pwedeng maging partner ito sa isang limited partnership as the general partner. Okay? Hindi siya pwedeng maging limited kasi, siyempre, industry ang ilalagay niya. Pero pwede siya maging general partner. And of course, yung capitalist, walang problema. Whether you are general or limited, pwedeng maging capitalist ang partner. Okay? So both are, ingat lang, check lang natin kung ano. Sige. So number 5. Ano tayo? Yan. Okay, XYZ and company. Okay, Z and Y contributed 30 and 15,000 respectively, while X was an industrial partner. After payment of all liabilities and expenses, only 18,000 remained sa asset. How much will Z receive? Z ha? Z. Alright? So si Z, guys, siyempre, 12,000. Okay? Bakit? Wala namang makukuha si ano eh. Wala namang makukuha to. So, in proportion lang. So, 18, okay? So, divide, so gagawin mo, i-add mo na yan, kukunin mo yung ratio, multiply by 30. So, magiging 12 yan. Ang point ko lang dito is, huwag mong bibigyan ito. Okay? Huwag mong bibigyan ha, huwag mong bibigyan. So, kasi wala naman siyang equity eh. Di ba? So, proportional. 6. A partnership is a nominate contract. True. Okay, di ba yung nominate? Ito, nominate. Ibig sabihin yan, mayroon siyang pangalan doon sa civil code. Ano yung pangalan niya? Partnership. Di ba? By a contract of partnership. May definition pa yan. So, nominate contract yan. Kapag walang pangalan doon, ang tawag doon, in-nominate contract. Okay? Next. A partner by estoppel may contribute money or industry. Ito false ito. Okay, bakit? Bakit ito false? Yung partner, guys, by estoppel is not a partner. Okay? Yan lang ay pamamaraan para malaman kung sino ang liable. Pero it does not make this person a partner. Okay? Liability lang yan. Okay, so, bakit siya mag-contribute? Hindi man siya partner. Pag nag-contribute siya, ay hindi na po siya partner by estoppel. Partner na talaga. Alright? Sige. Now, next, spouses. Okay, spouses may form a general perfect. Pwede. Bakit? Remember, ano lang yung bawal pasukan ng spouses? Universal partnership. Kapag general professional, GPP. Okay, pag GPP, ano ba yan? Yan po ay particular partnership. Alright? So, pwede sila doon. Kaya nga, di ba, I'm sure, nakakita ka na ng mga kunyari, yung mga, kunyari, doctor, lawyers, kunyari, cruise and cruise. Yun. Usually, mag-asawa muna, tapos yung anak nila, sasali. Ganun. No problem. Basta, particular partnership. Okay? Sige. So, only 2 are yun na. Corporation. Alright. Next. Okay? Number 1. In case of delinquent shares, when a dividend is declared by the board, okay, statement 1, lahat po ito false. Okay, lahat ito false. Bakit? Delinquent ha? Delinquent. Pag cash dividend, ano nangyayari sa cash dividend? I-apply mo dun sa unpaid portion. Okay? Now, pag stock dividend, these things are withheld until the subscription is paid. Okay? So, binaliktad lang. Baliktad lang. Tapos, pag property dividend naman, hindi ito affected ng delinquency. Alright? Remember, yung delinquency, guys, may effect lang siya saan? Cash dividend at saka stock dividend. Yung property dividend, wala po. Kahit delinquent, makukuha mo yan. Alright? Now, just tested pa for impairment. Iba yan. Okay, iba yan. So, false po ito lahat. Okay? Sige. Alright. ABNC Corporation issued redeemable shares. Under the terms, the shares shall be redeemed at the end of 10 years from the date of issuance at par plus a premium of 10%. Okay? Oh, baba. Okay, anyway. Statement 1. ABC would need sufficient unrestricted. False ito. Diba remember, normally, kapag ka magdi-dividend ka, pag mag-buyback ka ng shares, when you acquire your own shares as a corporation, normally, ang requirement is sufficient yung RE mo para kunin yung shares. Kasi ba magiging treasury yon? Magiging treasury. Tapos magre-restrict ka, di ba, ng retained earnings. Tama? Now, that rule does not apply kapag ka redeemable. Kasi sabi ng corporation code natin, regardless kung meron kang retained earnings o wala. Okay, so false yan. Next, redemption of redeemable shares without sufficient retained earnings is an ultra vires act. Mali na naman kasi nga, sabi natin, hindi naman required talaga eh. Okay? So false na naman yan. Holders of redeemable shares enjoy a preference over other shareholders. This is true. Okay, true ito. Okay, bakit? Kasi remember, pwede silang ma-buyback. They are bought back at a definite period of time. At kahit walang retained earnings, pwede silang ma-acquire ulit. So, meron silang preference over the other. Kasi yung iba, hindi po sila pwedeng ma-acquire kung wala kang retained earnings. Alright? Sige. So, false. Ito true. Right? So, our answer here is what? Only statement 1, the statement 2, yun lang ang false. Ito. The following are not allowed to incorporate as a one-person corporation except, alam naman natin yun, di ba? Estate. Okay? An individual trust or estate pwedeng mag-OTC. Okay? Itong iba, nakalista lang naman yan. Bangko, hindi pwede. Insurance, hindi pwede. At saka, profession, bawal. Okay? Ano lang naman yan? Listahan lang. Memory work. I'm sure natandaan. 4. Ito naman, number 4, this has something to do with delinquency sale. Diba? Remember, pag naging delinquent, ibibenta yan. Okay? Ibibenta. So, at the public auction, sino raw mananalo? Okay? Sino mananalo? Remember, ano yung rule natin dyan? Ang highest bidder ang mananalo. Tama? Highest bidder. Okay? Now, remember, ang trick dyan is, sino ba yung highest bidder? Okay? Now, ang titingnan nyo po dyan is yung number of shares. Dapat, sino ang willing to pay the delinquent amount plus the expenses for the smallest, okay? For the smallest or for the least number of shares. Kasi guys, yung bid, yung financial part, yung pera, hindi yan magpapalit. Pare-parehas yan. Ano lang ang nagbabago? Yung number of shares. So, sino ang mananalo? The bidder who is willing to pay for the least number of shares. Yung pinaka-konti. So, take a look. Siya yung pinaka-konting share. Siya ang magiging highest bidder mo. Okay? Next, in a one-person corporation. Okay? In a one-person corporation, the president is elected. False yan. Bakit false? Siyempre wala nang election. Kasi yung single shareholder automatically is the president. Okay? Wala na. Okay, wala na po. Wala nang election for president yan. Ikaw na kagad. False yan, ha? Next. The president may be the treasurer at the same time. Ito, true ito. Okay? The president may be the treasurer at the same time. However, kailangan mo lang mag-file ng bond. Okay? The president, statement 3, the president may appoint the same person as both the treasurer and the secretary. True din po yan. Okay? Ano lang ang bawal? Bawal po maging president and secretary at the same time. Bawal yon. Okay? Sa one-person corporation po, bawal maging president at secretary at the same time. Bakit? Kasi po, yung secretary in a one-person corporation ay merong specific duties kapag nawala si president. Alright? So, hindi pa pwede na siya rin yung secretary dahil sinong gagawa ng specific duties na yon. Alright? So, once again, the secretary and the president cannot be the same person. But, the treasurer and the secretary can be one and the same. Okay lang. Okay? So, only statements 2 and 3 are true. Number 6. A is a director, okay, owns 50% of the capital stock, okay, of XYZ. XYZ purchased computer tables from DEF Corporation, okay, for which A is also a director. Ayan, okay, 15%. So, sa kabila, substantial yung interest niya, sa kabila, nominal. Medyo nakikita mo na kung saan pupunta to. Okay? So, 5 directors. In the approval of the contract to purchase, so bibili. Okay? Saan ba tayo? Yeah. A did not attend, so wala tayong pakialam doon. While, ayan. Ito. Yeah. Sa kabila, yung nominal. Di ba? Remember, yung sa nominal corporation ang mahalaga dito. A, B, and C, so 5 directors, A, B, C, and D are present. Okay? Assuming no fraud, fair and reasonable. Okay? Yung contract dito ay, yung choices natin, ang contract dito guys ay valid. Okay? Bakit? Bakit valid? Kasi tingnan mo. Diba interlocking? Okay? So, ano ba ang quorum? Ang 5. Diba 3? Ilan sila nag-attend? 4. So, kahit tanggalin mo si A, may quorum pati. Okay? Next. So, quorum. Tapos, kapag ka nagbotohan, okay, di ba, majority of the quorum, ay unanimous naman. So, meron ka ring voting, yung voting requirement, na-satisfy mo din. So, valid ito. Alright? Valid siya. Okay? Sorry, kamali yung albay-albay na yan. But, you get the point. Valid ito. Kasi remember, titingnan mo yung nominal corp, tapos i-apply mo yung requirements. Ang essential dyan, siyempre, no fraud, tapos yung fair and reasonable, pero titingnan mo, yung quorum dapat, para makuha yung quorum, hindi dapat kasali yung interlocking director. Also, para makomply yung voting requirement, dapat din, hindi po kasali yung interlocking director. Both of which were satisfied in this problem. Kaya siya, valid. Okay? So next, which of the following is not a qualification of incorporators of a stock corporation? Okay, so ingat ka lang, lahat naman yan, madali lang. Okay, ito ha, dati kasi may ganito, baka lang may mga lumabas na sa problem, dati kailangan majority, actually hindi nga citizens, dati majority should be residents. Pero wala pong ganitong requirement. So you can actually create a corporation composed of all foreigners. Depende na lang sa industry. Alright? So, hindi po requirement yan. Okay? So, number 7, letters. Next. Okay, A has 7 shareholders, concurrently members of the board. Notices of the special meeting were sent to all members except Z. Wala raw kasing record. Hindi na alam kung nasaan. The meeting was attended by 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay? Tapos, unanimously voted in favor of appointing Brad as general manager. Okay, so statements. Now, the meeting may be held anywhere. Bakit? Bakit pwede yan? Kasi, board of directors. Di ba? Pag board of directors, guys, wala pong limitation kung saan kayo pwede mag-meeting. Kahit saan yan. Eh, even outside of it. So, alam naman natin yon, correct? Now, tapos, the quorum of the majority is majority of 7. True ito. Kasi remember, yung tawag dito, yung concurrently members of the board. So, 7 yung members of the board. Yun yung nakalagay sa article. Okay, paano natin nalaman? Kasi, concurrently daw. So, wala namang sinabing iba, we can assume na yan yung members of the board. Wala namang sinabing vacant, wala sinabing ganun. Alright? So, 7. Tama naman, di ba? Majority of the directors as stated in the Articles of Incorporation. So, true pa din. Next, the required vote dito sa appointment of a general manager was a majority of the people constituting the quorum. True din yan. Kasi bakit? Baka lang na mix up mo, baka lang ma-mix up mo. Meron kasing requirement, di ba, pagka corporate officer, kailangan majority of all directors. Remember, ang corporate officer, guys, ay sino? Well, one, yung president, tapos si secretary, at saka si treasurer. Ngayon, meron extra kapag CVPI, pero nagiging corporate officer ka lang as a general rule. Okay? As a rule of thumb pala. As a rule of thumb, kailangan, para ma-consider ka sa corporate officer, dapat nakalagay ka sa bylaws. Alright? Kahit ano pang title mo, kunyari, Lord and Savior, ganyan. Pero wala ka sa bylaws, hindi ka po corporate officer. Empleyado ka, pero you are not a corporate officer. For as long as you are not found in the bylaws, as a rule of thumb, hindi ka corporate officer. So kung hindi corporate officer to, hindi mo kailangan yung majority of all. Majority of the quorum lamang. So dito po, sa situation na to, letter A ang sagot. Again ha, para ma-consider ka, generally, para ma-consider ka as a corporate officer, you should be found in the bylaws. Or at least yung office mo should be created by the bylaws. Otherwise, wala. Okay? Sige. A corporate treasurer is required to be, siyempre alam natin yan, resident. Okay? So, hindi po siya kailangan director, ha? Hindi siya kailangan shareholder. Ang requirement ng treasurer is resident siya. Okay? Sige. Next. Okay, these people distributed calling cards identifying themselves as directors to several individuals. Ayun lang. In reality, wala naman talagang ganun. So, X, see the calling card, granted a loan. Okay? When the corporation was unable to pay, X brought, dinimanda. At that time, now, ito guys, yung corporation by estoppel. Diba, remember, pag nag-pretend ka to be a corporation na wala naman talaga, corporation by estoppel. Yun. That one does not create, again ha, that one does not create a corporation. Liability lamang ito. Okay, paano mo, how is liability determined kapag may estoppel? Now, kapag, corporation by estoppel, you or the people involved shall be liable as general partners. Okay, general partners. Eh, di ba pag partner, paano ang liability? Di ba subsidiary? Okay, subsidiary and joint. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kailangan muna maubos yung asset. And then, pag naubos yung asset, saka mo hahabulin yung individual people. Alright? So dito, meron daw asset of 30, kailangan mo muna ubusin yan. So therefore, ito ang sagot. Bakit? The people involved in a corporation by estoppel are liable as general partners. And the liability of general partners is joint and subsidiary. Kailangan mo muna ubusin yung assets. Next, A stockholder who does not approve the action taken by the board in proposing to amend the articles is not allowed to withdraw from the corporation in one of the following days. Alright? Now, you remember ano yan, yung dito, appraisal right, di ba? Appraisal right. So remember lang guys, the appraisal right, ano yan ha, meron lang instances na nandun siya. Okay? Now, ano yun? ASIM, di ba? ASIM. So, amendment. Pero yung amendment, guys, hindi lahat ng amendment. Kailangan daw, alright, it has the effect of restricting or changing the relationships between existing shareholders. So, hindi lang basta amendment. Okay? Now, kunyari, i-amend mo, tas principal office mo yung papalitan, hindi na, walang ano yun. Walang appraisal yan. Alright? So, anyway, in these choices, lahat yan makikita mo. Alright? So, ito lang yung wala. Bond yan eh. So, walang appraisal right. All the others, nandun po sa listahan. Alright? Shortening or extending corporate term. Okay? Investing funds in another corporation. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman yan yung pinag-usapan nyo, di ba? And of course, pag mag-merge. Alright? So, again guys, ito, listahan lang to. It's a recall problem. So, I strongly suggest that we familiarize ourselves with this. Okay? Yan ang rule natin ha. Kapag may listahan, we have to familiarize ourselves. So, next. Number 12. As a rule, the term of trustees of a non-stock corporation is, guys non-stock, 3 yan. Diba, pag stock corporation, 1 year yun. However, pag non-stock, 3 po ang default. Okay? 3. Okay? Pwede nilang paikliin, pero hindi na pwedeng dagdagan. So, 3 ang default, it can be less, but not more. Kailan nangyayari yan? Non-stock. Okay? Ito, CVPI, corporation vested with public interest. Independent directors must at least, okay, constitute 20% of the board. Okay, tama yan. Okay, sa CVPI lang guys, corporations vested. Independent, at least 20%. Okay. Compliance officer must be elected. Tama rin. Compliance officer, tama rin. Ito guys, subabantayan mo. Medyo special kasi non-stock. Diba? Pag non-stock guys, yung independent trustee, kasi wala naman director doon, di ba? Trustees ang meron. Kapag non-stock corporation, tapos vested with public interest, the independent trustee need not be a member. Okay? So kapag vested with public interest yung non-stock corporation mo, once again, hindi kailangang member yung independent trustee. So statement 3 guys is false. Alright? Our answer is ito. Only 2 are. Okay? Next. In the Articles of Incorporation of XYZ Construction Company, okay, classified its shares into stock, voting common and non-voting preferred. Provide for 11 directors. Bylaws, okay, gave the board of directors, mali yung nag-autocorrect siguro yan. Anyway, gave the board of directors the authority to approve transactions not exceeding 2 million. Any transaction in excess shall be ratified by the shareholders. No problem. In which of the following cases may the preferred stock vote? Okay, so again guys, may listahan po yan. But generally, when you're talking about voting, yung preferred shares, hindi po bumubo. Ay, yung non-voting shares, wala siya pakialam. Kasi, well, non-voting nga sila eh. Okay? Generally. However, there is this list in section 6 na kung kailan, okay, the code or the corporation code, the revised corporation code, enumerates the instances when non-voting shares can vote. So, please try to please familiarize yourselves with the list. Alright? So, dito po, yeah. Alright? Increase of the directors, yan kailangan mo ng preferred share voting. Okay? Kasi pag in-increase mo to, ano nangyayari? May amendment to the Articles of Incorporation. Kasi di ba nakalista yan, yung directors mo doon. Alright? So, yeah, may amendment. So, therefore, the preferred shares the non-voting shares may now vote. Next. The right of a corporation, the right of a corporation to exist as a juridical person, okay, despite the death of right of succession. Okay, hindi po siya katulad ng partnership, di ba? Pag may namatay, dito. Ito, kahit mamatay sila lahat, actually. Ano pa rin, yung corporation remains intact. Okay, magkaka-problem ka lang, syempre, dun sa paano mamamana yung shares, pero the corporation still remains. And that is called the right of succession. Di ba nasa definition yan? Okay, right of succession. So, number 15 is just the definition. 16. The following may be consideration for shares except, dalawa lang naman yung bawal di ba? Promissory notes at saka future services. Paano natin nalaman tong future? Kasi services to be rendered. So, hindi pa nagagawa. Okay? Sige. A president under the RCC is required to be the following except ito po. Okay? So, shareholder dapat, director dapat, yung legal age, implied yan. Okay, implied. Kasi syempre, paano ka maging president? Pero yung domicile, doesn't matter. Okay? Hindi siya domicile. Yung domicile, guys, it's just a form of residence. Okay? Domiciliary yan. Okay? Pero anyway, a president, guys, is required to be a shareholder. It's required to be a director at the same time and of legal age. However, the president is not required to be domiciled in the Philippines. Okay? 18. Which of the following defects will preclude the creation? Yung will prevent. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, defective, may mga defects ka, ano doon yung kahit de facto hindi na pwede. Alright? Remember guys, the de facto corporation, kailangan, one of the things na nandun is you need to show na meron kang attempt in good faith to incorporate. Dapat tinry nyo man lang. Okay? In good faith, of course. Okay? Yun yung one of the major distinctions niya with a corporation by estoppel. Doon sa corporation by estoppel, nagkunyari lang talaga kayo. There was no attempt at all. Dito, kailangan mo ipakita na may attempt in good faith. Okay? So, how do you show that? Kailangan meron kang certificate of incorporation. Kasi, syempre, pag may certificate ka, nag-try ka niyan in good faith. Di ba? Nakakuha ka eh. Ngayon, kapag wala ka niyan, ay hindi ka de facto. Okay? Kapag wala kang certificate of incorporation guys, kahit de facto, hindi pwede. Alright? So, number 18, letter B. 19. A subscribed to 1,000 shares. She paid 25% during the stockholders meeting. Can A vote all her subscribed shares? Yes. Okay? Sa Pilipinas po, pwede mong iboto kahit hindi pa bayad. Kasi nakakatanggap pa nga ng dividend yan, di ba? Kahit hindi bayad. Nagkakaroon ka lang ng problem kapag ikaw ay delinquent. Pag delinquent, di ka na pwedeng iboto, hindi ka na rin pwedeng bumoto. Okay? So remember as long as hindi ka declared delinquent, you can vote kahit hindi pa bayad. Alright? So number 19, letter D. Alright. According to the Securities Regulation Code, the following terms are defined. Definitions. Now guys, dito magtiwala ka na lang ha. Okay, magtiwala ka na lang. Yan po ang definitions nila. Okay, galing yan sa IRR kasi. Okay, kumuha ako sa IRR kasi ano yan baka lang. Okay, baka lang. But the point is, these are definitions given by the IRR. So magtiwala ka na lang, tama lahat yan. What's my point? Para ma-expose ka dito. Okay? So kindly take note of this, na yan po ang definition ng debt security, ng derivative, at saka ng proprietary share or security. Okay? Magtiwala ka na lang, ha? Magtiwala ka na lang. Next, a reporting company may be. Ano daw yung required yung sa 17.2? Both are true. Okay, both are true. Wala namang problema yan. Okay? Now, actually, tatlo pa nga yan, di ba? Yung una, registered issuer. Okay, nag-IPO ka. So, humingi ka ng registration statement. Ano yung pangalawa? Publicly listed. Yung nasa stock exchange ka. Or exchange, yung sa PDEX. Right? Ano yung pangatlo? Ito, yung public company. Ano nga yung public company? 50, 200, 100. Alright? Pero the point is, both are true. Okay? Both are true. Okay, next. Material non-public information. This is related to insider trading. Okay? So remember, dapat yung information, ito muna. Okay? It should be material non-public. Okay? Para mag-start yung analysis mo on insider trading. Kasi pagka hindi naman ganyan yung nature ng information, walang insider trading doon. Wala namang sense yun na pagpupuntiryahin mo pa. Okay? Sige. Now, statement 1. Okay, not disclosed to the public. Tama. Ayan, ito lang, mali ito. Alright, mali yan ha. Kailangan kasi it would likely affect the price. Siyempre, kung hindi naman niya maapektuhan yung price, walang kwenta yun. Diba? Walang kwentang information yun. So, dapat likely affect the price. So, false itong statement 1. 2, to be considered, ito, mali. Okay? Dapat po, ordinary person. Okay? Yung karaniwan lang. Yung karaniwan tao lang. Alright? Bakit? Kasi kapag expert, iba yan. Hindi na yan masyadong mataas na threshold yan. Wala pong walang makaka-violate ng insider trading. Kung yan ang sukatan mo. Okay? Dapat at the very least, yung at most reasonable person yan. Okay? Para at least medyo mababa yung threshold nung insider trading. Kasi remember guys, sino ba ang pinoprotektahan ng Securities Regulation Code? Yun pong mga karaniwang tao. Alright? Yung mga retail investors na tinatawag nila. Or yung sabi nga, di ba, yung dati, tinatawag nila, those who rely on the calculus of common sense only. Okay? Kasi pag experienced investors, sobrang galing na yan. Wala pong magiging violation kung yan ang gagawin mong pamantayan. Alright? So, statement 1, false. Kasi dapat it should likely affect the price. Number 2, it should be a reasonable person. Okay? So, both are false. Ayan, one is not like the other. So, once again, hahanapin mo. Okay? So, ano yung pagkakaparehas nila? Now, ito guys, when you go through the choices, makita mo na yan ay exempt securities. Tama? Exempt securities yan. Again, listahan yun. Section 9 yan. Tapos yung exempt transaction, section 10. Now, ito, true lahat yan except this one. Remember guys, yung bangko, okay, yung any security by the bank is exempt except its own shares. Okay? Dapat po except. So yung shares ng bangko, that has to go through the registration process. Pag shares of stock niya. But all the other securities of a bank, okay lang. Exempt yun. Okay? Sige, so letter C. Okay, ito naman, number 24, definition lang. Kita mo na. Okay? Insider. Yan. So once again guys, yung insider, okay, yung insider is, tingnan mo, yung insider talaga, okay, insider talaga kasi nasa loob siya. Ito yung outsider na naging insider. Sorry. Insider pala to. Insider to, insider ito. Yung mga tunay na insiders kasi meron silang access dun sa loob. Okay, sino pa? Itong letter E. Ito po yung outsider na nagiging insider. Bakit? Kasi wala naman siyang kinalaman doon sa company. Kaso nga lang, sinismisan siya. Okay? And lastly, sino pa ang insider? Ito, regulator. Okay, may regulator kasi. Dahil, again, may access siya, pero government. Okay, government ito, or yung exchange itself, your regulator, in other words, ay pwede maging insider din. Okay, so any of these people are considered insiders. Ayan, mandatory tender offer. Shall not be required except now, remember guys, yung listahan na naman yan. Okay, nandun sa lecture natin yan. Kapag makakakuha ka ng control, may tender offer yon. Okay? Kasi remember, kaya nga may tender offer is to allow those people na walang appraisal right to get out. Kasi may change in circumstances. And that circumstance is control. Kung iba na ang magpapaandar ng kumpanya, baka ayaw nila yun. Okay, baka ayaw nila. Pero wala kasing appraisal right dun eh. And the only way to get out is for this to happen. Mandatory. Alright? So, essentially yung question na to, anong tinatanong? Kailan mandatory ang tender? Ito po. Kasi bumili ka, sufficient to gain control. So, nagpalit, ayun, hayaan mo silang umalis kung gusto nila. Right? Kailangan mo rin i-offer bilhin yung shares. So, 25B. 26. Okay? Ito naman, exempt transaction. Alright? Exempt transactions ito. So, kapag exempt transaction, hindi yung security mismo, pero yung transaction nangyari. Yung transfer or yung whatever the movement of the securities are. Now, dito, pag tinignan mo, listahan yan, di ba? So, alamin mo lang ano laman ng listahan. So, remember guys, ito pong statement 2, exempt security ito. Okay, nakalagay naman, di ba? Any security, ayan. So, kailangan lang familiar tayo dun sa laman ng listahan. So, statement 1 is an exempt transaction. Statement 3 is an exempt transaction also. Whereas statement 2 is an exempt security. Magkaiba yun ha. Remember na magkaiba ang exempt security sa exempt transaction. Pareho silang listahan, we have to familiarize ourselves with both of them. Okay? So our answer here is letter 27. Okay, the board should designate a lead director among the independent directors if the chairman of the board is not independent. Okay? So, tama naman yun. Okay? Now, the functions of the lead director, except daw. So, alin daw yan? Now, ito guys, magtiwala ka na lang kasi ito ay Code of Corporate Governance. Ito. Hindi pwede na siya ang nagpapatawag ng meeting ng both executive and non-executive directors. Hindi pwede yun. Bakit? Kasi, yung lead director, guys, kaya nga siya in-appoint kasi dapat non-executive ang pinapamahalaan niya. Okay? Yung executive directors, guys, yan yung nai-involve sa day-to-day. Okay? Kunyari, yung COO, ganyan. Okay, director siya, pero involved siya sa sa operations niyo. Okay? So, remember ha, yung power ni lead director only extends to the non-executive directors. Alright? Non-executive meaning dapat independent directors lang ang hawak niya. Okay. B. 28. O definition ulit. Okay, who sold the class of its security pursuant to a registration. Ayan na, the registered issue. Okay? So, pag magbibenta ka to the public, di ba, you need to register. And if you do that, you'll be called a registered issuer. Okay. So, ito, manipulation of securities, di ba? Fraud, ito basically. Okay, manipulation of prices. Ito yung mga may funny names, the squeezing the float, yung mga ganon. Now, ito guys, magtiwala ka na lang rin. Alright, magtiwala ka na lang ha. All are true ito. Okay? Ito lang. Yung statements natin are just examples of this. Okay? So, kung hindi ka pa familiar dito sa mga listahan na to, kindly take a look at the list para lang may idea ka kung ano itong hin-highlight natin. Okay, these are just examples, okay, of how this manipulation is done. Okay, so all are true. Code of Corporate Governance. Alright, so Code of Corporate Governance, ito yung tungkol sa independent directors. All are true yan. Now, yan guys ay depende kung ano yung code na ginagamit mo. Kasi di ba, if you try to remember our lectures on this one, may tatlo tayong codes in existence of corporate governance. Meron yung pinakauna, yung luma, 2009, ang nire-require niya, dalawa, minimum. Okay? Yung next na lumabas is yung for publicly listed companies, PLC. Yan yung nasa stock exchange or nandun sa PDAX. Alright? Now, stock exchange, sorry. Ngayon dito naman, pansin mo, at least 3 na. Tapos, at least 1/3 of the board. So, medyo may variation na. Now, yung latest, although medyo matagal na rin to, yung latest nila is for public companies and registered issuers. Okay? Kita mo, bumalik doon, at least 2, pero kailangan at least 1/3 of the board, whichever is higher. Okay, so, paki-ano lang, okay, kung hindi ka pa familiar dito, ito na. Okay, true lahat ito, huwag ka mag-alala. Ang point ko lang is, meron tayong iba-ibang codes of corporate governance, depende kung anong klaseng corporation ka, and iba-iba po yung requirement ng independent directors. Okay? So, letters, but nasa C ito. Pero all are true. Okay. Okay, cooperative. According to the cooperative code, consider the following. Okay? Created by operation of law. Tama yan. Kasi you cannot create a cooperative by consent. Kailangan mo sundan yung batas natin. Laboratories, kung nakita mo yan, minor. Pero kailangan affiliated siya saan? Sa Guardian Cooperative. Kasi minors nga sila eh. Diba? Minors sila. So, kailangan may, basically, quote-unquote, may nagbabantay. Guardian Cooperative. Okay? Tapos, provision and creation of an ethics committee is mandatory. Yes. Okay? Pag nakita mo, di ba, gagawa sila ng committee. Okay? Yung smaller group, diba? Committee. Okay? One of the requirements or one of the mandatory committees is the ethics. Okay? So, all are true. Okay, the following data is provided by ABC Credit Cooperative. Okay, based on the cooperative code, how much of the net surplus should be distributed to the Community Development Fund. Now guys, yung mga fund na yan, di ba? Iba-iba yung percentages. Okay, iba-iba. So kapag ganito, walang sinabi, kunin mo kung ano yung minimum. Okay? Kunin mo ano yung minimum na nandun or yung maximum pag yun ang indicator. Okay? So again ha, kapag hindi sinabing ganyan, kunin mo yung minimum or yung maximum na nakalagay. Okay? So kapag Community Development Fund, yan ay 3%. Tama? Okay? 3%. At least 3% of the net surplus. So paano mo kukunin yan? Add mo lang lahat ng income. So, 845 plus 47 plus 2. Okay, minus yung operating expenses, you get 180 yan. Okay, 180. Tapos you multiply that by 3%. So, ibig sabihin, ito po, sir. Letter A. Alright? Sige. Next, it is the highest policy-making body. So, syempre, alam natin, general asset. Okay, definition lang ha. Definition lang yan. Alam natin. Which fund requires a maximum of 7% of the net surplus to be set aside. Ito naman, maximum. Yung kanina, minimum. Ito, maximum siya. So, alin? Siyempre, hindi na pwedeng community development. Diba? Option. Alright, so identification lang, alam natin yan ha. Okay, pag hindi, tingnan mo lang yung ano mo, I'm sure maalala mo yan. Number 5, a single-purpose cooperative may transform into a multi-purpose cooperative, okay, and may create subsidiaries only after at least, ito, 2 years of operation. So, anong point nito? Hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta maging multi-purpose. Okay? Hindi ka rin basta-basta pwedeng gumawa ng subsidiary. Kailangan mo na mapatunayan mo na kaya mo paandarin or viable yung cooperative. So, 2 years of operation. Letter. Alright. PDIC naman. So, ito. If a bank is placed under receivership, the maximum deposit insurance coverage is the limit of the amount a depositor may claim against PDIC. Alam naman natin yun. So, in relation there too. Now, at the time of the COVID-19 pandemic, the MDIC was set at 500. Tama naman. Actually, since 2009 until. So, during the pandemic, 500. Now, at present, it is set at 1 million. This is correct also. Remember guys, starting March 15, 2025, 1 million na po yung MDIC natin. Okay? March 15, 2025. Okay? So, starting March 15, 1 million na. Pag before nun, 500 lang. Alright? Pakitandaan. Now, the MDIC is to be reviewed every 3 years. Okay? Authorized to increase or decrease as necessary. Ito po ay false. Okay? False yan. Bakit? Ang pwede lang po nilang gawin ay increase. Yun po yung nakalagay sa bata. Pwede lang nilang i-increase pero wala silang power. Okay? Pwede lang i-review. Pwede nilang itaas pero hindi nila pwedeng ibaba. Okay? So, anong sagot natin? Only 2 are true. Next. Okay, if a bank decides to operate a branch in Singapore, the deposit shall be covered by PDIC. False yun. Kasi diba yan yung obligation payable abroad? Wala na. All items within 1405, yung secrecy of peso deposit, okay, are also covered by PDIC. False. Okay, this one is false also. Bakit? Kasi di ba yung 1405, hindi lang po deposit ang covered yan. Diba pati yung investment in government funds. And lastly, file a claim is absolute and mandatory for all depositors. False yan. Di ba may mga deposits na hindi kailangan may mga depositors na hindi kailangan mag-file. Alright? At present, yung ano yan, kapag hindi ka lalampas dun sa MDIC natin, wala kang utang sa bangko, at saka, yung identification documents mo ay updated. Ayun, hindi mo kailangan mag-file ng claim. Kasi guys, yung claim na yan, ito, medyo formal na document yan. Okay? So, doon hindi naman siya mahirap i-fill up. Pero medyo formal yan. Kapag hindi ka kailangan mag-claim, okay, kapag na-satisfy mo yung requirements, ibabayaran ka ni PDIC. Okay? Even without the claim. Alright? Sige. So, ano sagot natin? All are false. Okay, false lahat to Sige. Next. Secrecy. Information about peso deposits of the Commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission may be looked into if he or she is being subjected to proceedings that may lead to removal. False. Bakit? Hindi po yan impeachment. Okay? Hindi po lahat ng commissioner, okay, ay may impeach. Remember, kailangan yung opisina mo ay constitutional commission para maging impeachment yan. Alright? False. Next, the heirs of the deceased cannot look into the deposit. False yan. Bakit? Diba kayo na yung heir? Hindi, sa inyo na yun. Pwede mo na tingnan yan. Alright? Next, for verification purposes, correct gross estate, the BIR cannot inquire into deposit foreign currency because it is exempt from estate tax. False pa rin. Okay? Pwede pa rin niya i-determine kasi gross estate, di ba? Gross estate. Okay? So, tinitingnan kung tama ba yung computation ng gross estate. But yes, ultimately, exempt yan from estate tax, but still, part siya na kailangan tingnan. So, false, false, and false. O, ito, numbers lang. Okay? Alam naman siguro natin. Okay, ito, pag pesos, pag foreign currency. Local currency, foreign currency. 1405, 6420. Okay? Sige. Yun. AMLA. The FATF is an intergovernmental body established in 1989. So and so. Alam naman natin yan. Okay, the following statements pertain to FATF except. So, alin daw yung false? Now, if you take a look at these things, lahat po yan. Okay, lahat po yan true. Okay, maliban lang dito. Guys, the FATF cannot issue freeze orders. Tsaka mas lalong hindi sila pwedeng mag-bank inquiry. Okay? Remember, sinong gumagawa niyan? Either yung Court of Appeal or yung Anti-Money Laundering Council. Hindi po yung FATF. Okay? Sige. One is not like the other. Okay, remember, pag mga itong question, kailangan mo hanapin yung association. So, ano lang yung hindi pwede? Ito. Now, remember, hijacking, terrorism, kidnapping for ransom. Yan yung mga instances na pwede kang mag-bank inquiry without a court order. So, manggagaling sa Anti-Money Laundering Council yung, alin, yung inyong bank inquiry order. Alright? So, again, ito lang yung piracy, walang ganon. Okay? Hindi siya kasali dun sa listahan. So, yeah. Letter B. Oh, ito. Bonus round. Okay, AMLA is officially designated as. Okay, huwag tayo magkakamali ha. Ito po ang sagot. Yan yung original. So, yun pa rin ang kanyang official designation. Alright? Yung itong mga iba, those are amendments. So, kaya po pag sinabi mo yan, Republic Act 9160 as amended. Alright? Pero ang sagot, ito pa rin. Yung original. Alright? Sige. Next, covered transaction. Covered transaction. Ano raw ang covered transaction? Now, ingat ka sa mga ganitong klaseng tanong. Alright? Ingat ha. Bakit? False yan. Remember, important po, okay, important, yung threshold. Kapag covered transaction, important ang threshold. Hindi po at least. Dapat po exceeding. Okay? Dapat lampas. So, false, false, false. Dapat exceeding. Okay? Hindi po at least. Dapat exceeding. Alright? Sige. Next. According to AMLA, the following pertain to a freeze order issued by AMLC except. Okay, so ito yung pwedeng diretso na sa Anti-Money Laundering Council. Now, lahat po yan ay sa freeze order, tama naman. Maliban na lang dito. Okay? Hindi po yan ha, 6 months, hindi. Kapag galing sa AMLC ang freeze order mo, it is effective until the basis for its issuance was lifted. Diba yun yung nanggagaling sa targeted financial sanction? So for as long as the basis for the TFS is there, the freeze order remains in effect. Ito pong 6 months na ito ay nag-a-apply dun sa freeze order na galing saan? Galing sa Court of Appeal. Okay? Sige. Next. One is not like the other. So, hanapin mo na naman. Lahat po yan ay true. Okay? Maliban na lang dito. Letter D. Okay, bakit? Remember guys, na generally, kapag private person, regional trial court. Okay, pero kapag yung private person na yon is in conspiracy with a public official, hindi na po regional trial court ang may jurisdiction or yung kung saan yung kaso. Magiging saan? Sa Sandigan Bayan. Okay? Again ha, when the private person is in conspiracy with a public official, the case will be heard in that Sandigan Bayan, not the regional trial court. Okay? So ito yung mali. FRIA. Okay. According to FRIA, the term debtor excludes certain entities such as the following. Alright? Oh guys, huwag na tayo huwag natin patagalin. All are true yan. Okay? Kasi ano yung una? Bangko. Alright? Ano yung sunod? National government. Ito, PDIC. Sir, di ba GOCC yan? Hindi. Di ba remember yung PDIC ay government instrumentality with corporate powers. Okay? So, kasama siya sa FRIA. Although malabo, okay, although malabo mangyari yon, kasama sa FRIA yan. Okay? Kasi again, hindi siya GOCC. Siya ay government instrumentality with corporate powers. Okay? So, all are true. Now, teka. Sorry ha. Ano ko lang ha, excluded. So, hindi siya pwedeng gumamit ng FRIA, guys. Right? Hindi siya pwedeng gumamit. Same as this, same as this. Alright? Malabo namang maano yun. Anyway. One is not like the other. So, alin daw dyan yung naiiba? Alin ang naiiba? Now, lahat po ito ay false. Okay, bakit? Kasi tingnan mo, a debtor may be an individual whether or not registered with DTI. Okay, mali na. Bakit? Kasi kapag registered ka with DTI, hindi ka na po individual debtor. Juridical ka na. So, false. According to FRIA, a GOCC is not considered a debtor and may not avail of the remedy. False yan. Okay? Yung GOCC ay pwede. Okay? Pwede yan. Pwede mag-avail ng FRIA yan for as long as yung batas na gumawa sa kanya does not prohibit FRIA from being used. Okay? So generally, GOCCs can avail of FRIA except na lang kung yung batas nila says otherwise. Okay? In liquidation proceedings, okay, liquidation. The creditor chooses the value may be fixed equal or to more than the claim. Okay? False yan. Bakit? Hindi lang po equal, hindi lang more. Actually, pwede rin less than the claim. Okay? So, A, B, and C all are false. So, ano sagot natin? Okay? Ito true ito. Tama naman, di ba? Pwede court juridical debtors, anong available? Court supervised, renegotiated, saka OPRA. Okay? No, meron pang isa, yung in cross-border insolvency, pero medyo yung rules nun kasi dahil meron pang i-consider na outside. Pero generally speaking, itong tatlo ang available sa'yo. Okay? Sige. Next. One is not like the other. Okay? Ano ba tayo? Yeah. Now, again, lahat po ito ay false. Okay? Maliban lang sa letter A. Okay? So, isa-isayin lang natin. Ito pong letter D, bakit mali? Involuntary petition for liquidation. Remember, pag involuntary, guys, hindi pwedeng isang creditor lang. Kailangan 3 or more creditors dapat. Okay, remember pag involuntary liquidation, hindi pwedeng mag-isa ka lang. Kailangan 3 or more. Okay? Next. Pre-negotiated. Okay? Bakit mali? 180 at saka itong denied. Kapag yung period po pag pre-negotiated is 120. Alright? Tapos, pag lumampas ng 120, hindi po denied. Deemed approved. Yan. Okay? Approved ha? Approved. Next, B. O, bakit ito false? Do you have receiver? Citizen? Hindi kailangan. Pwede pong resident lamang. Alright? Hindi po required na citizen of the Philippines ang isang receiver. Pwedeng resident lang. Okay? And of course, kung false yung B, C, at D, yung letter A true yan. Okay? True po ito. Okay? So, petition due when the debtor is insolvent and there is a substantial likelihood of rehabilitation. Okay? So, number 3, letter A. 4. According to PRIA, okay, management may be displaced by the receiver or management committee upon clear and convincing evidence of any of the following. So, tandaan na, generally, existing management is not displaced. Sila pa rin ang nag-ooperate. Kasi sa bagay, sila naman ang may alam niyan eh. Diba? Now, nagkakaroon na ng issue, okay, nagkakaroon na ng issue kapag nangyari yung kahit alin dito. Okay, kahit alin ha. Ano sabi? Evidence, clear and convincing evidence of any of the following. So kapag po nangyari yung kahit alin dyan, pwedeng ma-displace yung management. Sino papalit? Either si rehab receiver or what they call a management committee. Okay? So, number 4, all are true. Okay, number 5. O, definition of terms. Okay? So, lahat po yan ay true. Okay? Okay, ano lang. I'm sure familiar ka naman, pero kung hindi, or kung medyo nalito ka, silipin mo lang yung notes mo. May definition of terms. So, ito lang debtor. Ito yung false. Bakit? Ito. Yung individual debtor po, okay, kasama. Okay? So, dapat yan ay or an individual debtor. Okay? Kasi pwede na rin naman mag-avail yung individual debtor ng PRIA, di ba? Meron lang limits kung alin yung pwede niyang gamitin. So, debtor includes ang individual debtor who has become insolvent. Alright? So, D po ang sagot. False it. Okay? False. All the others, A, B, and C, true yan ha. Yung letter D, false it. Okay? Okay. Philippine Competition Act. Now, lahat yan, okay, ito po, lahat naman ay false, except ito. True yan. Ba? Definition of the relevant market. Now, bakit naging false yung letter A? Confined to domestic trade. Cannot extend outside. Okay? False yan ha, false. Meron pong extraterritorial application. Ito. Yung C, bakit yan false? All anti-competitive agreements are inherently illegal. Hindi po. Yung 14A lamang. Okay? Ano yun? Yung price fixing at saka bid rigging. Yun lang. Okay? All the others, di ba, meron yung 14B, 14C, meron pang ganon, di ba? So, yung mga yun, they follow the rule of law. Kasi hindi sila per se, legal per se. And ito pong letter D, bakit siya false? False. Dahil meron pong collective dominance na tinatawag. Okay? So, pag abuse of dominant position can be done by a single entity or multiple entities. Kapag multiple, ang tawag doon, collective dominance. Alright? So, number 1, ito lang yung truth. Okay, next. Now, dito guys, alright, statements 2 and 3, ito po, statements 2 and 3, so, okay, and 3, this one, true yan. Okay, true yan. Definition lang man yan eh. Alright, definition lang. Saka yung power ng commission. Now, statement 1 is false. Bakit? Ito po. Constitution does not allow combinations. Tama yon. Ito yung mali. Alright? Absolutely prohibits. Hindi po. Okay? Remember, the state shall regulate or prohibit when the public interest so requires. So there are instances na pinapayagan nila ang monopoly. Okay? Lalo na kapag tinatawag na natural monopoly yung area na yan. Okay? Ano yun? Kunyari, I'm sure familiar ka sa NGCP, yung grid. May kalaban ba yun? Wala, di ba? Also, yung nagpo-provide sa'yo ng tubig, katulad dito sa amin, Manila Water, walang kalaban yan. Yung nagdi-distribute ng kuryente, diba sa isang area, Meralco lang naman ang naniningil sa'yo. Wala namang kalaban yun. Kasi those are natural monopoly. So, they are not prohibited, rather, they are regulated. So, anong point? Yung monopoly, guys, ay hindi po absolutely prohibited. Okay? There are times na pwede siya, yun nga lang, regulated dapat. Okay? So, in this number, only 2 are. Alright. Next. Procurement. Okay, yung procurement, guys, repealed na pala to. Okay, repealed na. Pero hindi pa naman siya in effect. So, ano muna tayo? Okay, wag muna. Relax lang. Okay, ito yung bago ha. Yung RA 12009. So, originally, yung GPRA, okay, this one, the GPRA was originally designated as Republic Act. Ito. Okay, 918. Okay, so, pakitandaan lang yan. But, baka lang, okay, baka lang, it is now repealed. So, meaning wala na yan. RA 12009. Okay. Now, one is not like the other. Okay, so ano lang ang true dyan? Ito lang po. Okay, financial components should be sealed in separate envelopes but submitted simultaneously. Technical muna, saka nandyan yung ano mo, eligibility requirement. Kapag pumasa ka dyan, pass-fail, saka lang titingnan ang financial component. Okay? Now, yung B, bakit yan false? Ito, lowest to highest. Bakit? Yan po ay true lang kapag goods. Okay? Kapag services kasi, baliktad, di ba? Ang ranking niya highest to lowest. Okay? Now, next. One failed bidding, resort to negotiated. False yan. Dapat, 2. Okay? Hindi po isa lang. Kailangan i-try mo uli. And then, pag failed pa rin yung pangalawa, saka ka pumunta sa negotiated. Okay? Although, pwede may pa-bid uli. Gusto mo. Pero, ang requirement, at least 2. Okay? Alright, apply to the procurement of infrastructure. Tama naman. Ito lang yung mali dyan. Okay, right of way. Hindi po. Okay, expressly excluded yan, yung right of way. Okay? Pag right of way ang tinataw, ang kailangan, Republic Act 10752. Hindi po yung procurement. Alright? Sige. Next. Alright. One is not like the other. Now, ito po ng number na to, lahat ito ay true. Okay? Lahat yan true. So, paki-note lang na true siya lahat. Except, ito. Ito po yung incontestability. False ito. Bakit ito false? Bakit ito false? Remember, ito pong principle na ito, kasi binibigyan yung insurance company ng 2 years para tingnan kung nagsinungaling ka ba sa kanila or may tinago ka, di ba? Misrepresentation, basically nagsinungaling ka. Concealment, basically meron kang tinago. Now, this principle only applies to life insurance. Ito po ha, ito. Life insurance. Sa property insurance, walang ganito. Okay? Hindi nag-apply ito sa life insurance, sa non-life insurance, or especially sa property. Okay? Pakitandaan lang, ito pong incontestability na to, concealment or misrepresentation does not apply to non-life insurance or to property insurance. Okay? So, everything is true except letter